Good morning, Year 7. I trust that you all had a good weekend and your batteries are recharged and ready for some learning.
Yep.
You can all close your laptops down for about 10 minutes as I want to do a quick recap, and then we're going to go to some very exciting new concepts. I will also be handing out a worksheet at the end of this presentation, and you'll be able to use that to do your project after this. So pens down, eyes on me, I appreciate that. And first of all, I need Joel to move down here in the front of the row so we don't have any repeat behaviour from last week. And Helen, I heard you missing your glasses. Can you come down too so you can see the screen a bit better? Before I start, I'd also like to introduce the new student to the class, James. He's coming from Sydney. Okay, I'm sure you'll all make him feel really welcome. And James, since you've joined us late in the term, I'm going to need to get you up to speed on the work we've done. Can you team up with Evan, and I'll come and work with you later in the lesson, and we'll get you off to a flying start. Okay. So let's start with a quick recap of what we have achieved over the last 2 weeks examining the statistical cycle. We have learned that the first stage of the statistical cycle is to identify the problem, or what is it that we want to investigate. In your journals, you wrote down the problem in the form of a question. You wrote something that we wanted to prove to be right or wrong, something that was correct or incorrect, or to prove or disprove. Then we examined the planning stage. This is where we made the decisions about the data, the units of measurement, the units of time. This is where we define the rules and we will follow throughout our investigation. Last Friday, we completed the data stage. This was all about collecting the data, cleaning the data, and recording the data. And this is where we are now. We are ready to analyse our data. This is my favourite stage because this is where the maths all starts to come into play. Okay? All the heavy lifting has been completed and we are ready to apply statistical analysis to the data that we have gathered. Following on from here, what we can expect to do later in the week is the final stage where we actually draw conclusions based on the data, and from there we present and communicate our findings. Okay, let's start off with the problem. So for the benefit of not just James but for each of you, let's take a closer look at each stage of the statistical cycle and how it relates to your major assignment. This picture should remind you all of where we started. We learned that studies have shown that school children in Year 7 need 9.5 hours of sleep every night. Those who don't get enough sleep become moody, depressed, can't remember things, can't concentrate, and you'll do poorly at school. So our problem is, are 7th graders in our school getting enough sleep? The next stage, we discussed the decisions that we need to make involving the parameters of the investigation. How will the sample be chosen? We talked about how we should go about obtaining the data that we need to form the basis of our investigation. We all agreed that we did not have to hide in each other's bedrooms with a stopwatch and record how long we sleep. How did we decide to get our data? Anybody? Well,
face-to-face survey.
Face-to-face surveys, that's right. Thank you, Paul. Okay, so we decided that that's the best way to do our thing. Now, and then we looked at the sample size. Okay, how big should the sample be? Now, we looked at the theory of central tendency. Now, how many in a sample size did we decide do we need to make a quality survey?
30.
Oh, thank you, Amy. That's a perfect answer. Okay, so we all wrote in our journals what we expected to find. Some of you think we will have enough sleep, some of you think we won't have enough sleep, and this is where we're going to prove it. Okay, then came the data. The next phase of the statistical cycle is all about collecting, cleaning, and recording the data. What methods did we use to collect the data? What does a well-constructed survey look like? Was it necessary to clean the data? And was it 100% reliable? And what did we do if the participants were not telling the truth? What did we do? Okay, now we bring ourselves to where we are right now, the analysis stage of the statistical cycle. Today we will be learning about the methods and formulas required to calculate summary statistics. We will look at calculating the various measures of location, which are the mean, median, and the range of a data set. And we will be looking at identifying the measures of spread, the mode or the modal range. To understand what we mean when we say measures of location, you must first understand that we are looking for ways to describe the data set by describing what it looks like at its center. To help us do this, we have at our disposal the three different concepts of mean, median, and mode. Okay, we have the mean, the average value of the data set. We have the median, which is the middle point of a data set, and we have the mode, which is the most common value contained in a data set. These are all telling a different story about the data, and they all have their place in statistics. Okay, so let's do some examples. What we have here is a data set of 11 numbers, okay? Now, this example will find us the mean of the data set. Now, your data sets of 30 or 31 values. For this example, let's see how we do it with just 11. Okay, so we have already seen in our textbooks, X bar stands for mean, sum of the data values divided by the number of the data values. Okay, anybody quickly add them up? Too slow. 66 divided by 11. So, anybody have a clue what the mean of this data set might be? Perfect ball. 6. That's right. So we've done it. Now, a lot of people say the mean is the hardest of summary statistics to work out. If that's the hardest, then the other two must be pretty easy, don't you think? Okay, so let's take a look now at the median. We're going to use the same data set, 11 numbers, 1, 2, 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 8, 9, adds up to 66. We know that already, but that's of no use to us when we're talking about median. Now think of median like a median strip, okay, where it's in the middle of a 2-lane highway or a 4-lane highway. Each side we've got 2 lanes and 2 lanes. So the median number will be the one that has got equal numbers of values to the right and left of it. So let's take a look and see what we come up with. Take off the first and last, take off the second last, take off the fifth and third last, sorry, fourth and fourth last, and we come up with 7. Okay, so the 7 is our median value. How easy was that? Okay, we don't need a calculator for median, and as I'll show you later, we're going to use an Excel to find the median. The final one, the mode or the modal value. We got the same set of numbers. Now remember, we had, for the mean was 6, the median was 7. Okay, now the modal value is the value that is represented the most times in a data set. Okay, so for this one, we can go back to use our dot plots that we used last week to do some simple statistics. So let's see how that approach will help us find the mode. We've got 1, 1, 1, 2, 2 5s, 1 6, 2 7s, 1 8, 2 8s, 3 8s, 1 9. Who wants to guess what the mode is?
8.
Well done. That's easy too, isn't it? So we've got the mean, we've got the median, we've got the mode. All very easy. I can see you're all starting to get the gist of this, which is very exciting. Okay, now let's take a closer look. Look at how you're going to do this in Excel. Now, you'll be familiar with these numbers. They're the numbers that were popping up on your screen before. That's your data set. So it adds up to 66. We've got your mean 6, we've got median 7, we've got your mode 8. Okay. The only thing that we need to know in Excel, in our spreadsheets, is that the formulas are even easier than what I showed you before. They do it all for you. So all we need to know is to get this 6, all I had to type in the G2 there was equals averages, average C3 to C13. Okay, we've got the median, C3 to C13. Couldn't be easier, could it? Okay, now what we have is for the range, we can start at the minimum, and for the max, we've got the maximum. Now, it doesn't get any easier than that. Now, what I'm going to do is going to hand out some worksheets, and soon we're going to start looking at putting this into action on your projects, and we're going to start answering a few of those questions that we've got. Okay? Now, is there any questions? Okay. Let's get stuck into it, eh?